concern is, oh, don't tell me we did not start recording. Oh, dear Lord. Okay.
Hey.
So my comment is that the water meetings will eventually start up. We just want to make sure that funding comes into us. And so we will keep all of the communities updated about that. Brett, Megan, anything else that is on there? Wasn't there a little bit? Anyway, let's just move on to the next item. That's probably our best bet.
Yeah, it was more of just highlighting that we have a lot of open space plans going on with the different towns, a lot of corridor studies going on, a lot of projects going on in all of our communities. So
And housing, do we have any housing production plans underway right now?
We do. There's actually a through the efforts of Paul Umano and Jason DeRoche and Rhiannon, there was a regional, we went after some state funding, and it's for the town of Abington, Stoughton, oh, nope, Paul Umano, Brockton, Craig.
Brockton, Avon, Stoughton.
Thank you. Brockton, Avon, and Stoughton. Thank you. And it's a regional effort. And it comes from state. Thank you. This was a grant. First time we were awarded ever this through the efficiency and regionalization grant. So it's for 124,000 and they are beginning work on it. So that is the work. One of the challenges, there's been a number of communities that have reached out to us who have not accepted the MBTA communities that are, because of the Milton case, have come back to us and or to Mass Housing Partnership. There really isn't a whole lot of dollars that come with grant funding. We've been using DLTA funds to help do the HPP, housing production plans. And I know that we've been working with Abington and trying to think, let me see if there's any others on here. Oh, there, Jason is working, all right, the Abington updating its housing production plan. So it's in the staff report, Becky.
Thank you. Okay, Mary, do we usually take a motion to accept the staff report? I'm a little out of it tonight.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Nope, no need to do that.
All right, so we're gonna move on and talk about our legislative committee update. I don't know if Rhonda or Noreen are gonna update us on that.
Yes, maybe one of the other, can you all see that report? It looks a little muddled on my end.
It's not clear, Mary, at all.
It's not clear on mine either. Megan?
I'm wondering if it's my internet connection. How is my face? Am I blurry?
No.
No, you're not,
That's weird. All
but
right.
the print is not readable.
Maybe just close and reopen the document.
Yeah, hold on.
Nope, there it is. You just had it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Rhonda or Noreen, would one of you just want to read? This is just the report in writing.
Noreen, would you mind reading it where I'm suffering? I've been out sick for a couple of days and I kind of lose my breath a little bit sometimes. So if you wouldn't mind carrying the torch.
Not at all.
Before
The
me
legislative committee, we met on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025, and including the committee is Rhonda, myself, and the committee members, Yolando Spinola, Val Masad, and OCPC staff in attendance, including Mary Waldron, Megan Fournier, and David Klein. The committee took the opportunity to discuss current legislative priorities that OCPC should be focusing on and promoting, as well as planning for the upcoming legislative breakfast. Committee members and staff are in unanimous agreement to bring these items to the council for discussion and approval. The highlights of the priorities were the retirement legislation bill, which has been sponsored by Representative Lenatra through a request from Mary Waldron. David provided a review of the home care line items that urgently need support. There is a need to provide a report to the legislators on the regional water plan, which will be done during the legislative breakfast as an effort to streamline the information being sent to our legislators. The legislative breakfast has now been scheduled and will be at 8:30 a.m. on Friday, March 14th and it will be held at the Plymouth Town Hall. And you received a save the date in your packet, which I'm sure you all read, and we'll be receiving an official invite. And this is important, and this is kind of moving the meeting around. We thought Plymouth would have been a good spot to have this one. The first one we had it in Hanson at Camp Quaney, which also was wonderful. Any questions?
Yeah, I just have one. I believe it's at the Plymouth Memorial Hall, not the town hall.
It is when.
Oh,
when-
I'm sorry.
That's
Memorial
okay.
Hall.
No, that was a typo. Apologies.
Okay.
Okay, so hopefully, last year the legislative breakfast was very popular. So
Yeah,
hopefully it will be again this year.
oh, I'm sure it will.
So I
Thank
think,
you, Norm.
so I think you'd just be looking to, you would need a motion to accept the legislative report.
Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call, Abington, Avon,
Accept.
Bridgewater,
accept,
Brockton,
Accept.
East Bridgewater,
Accept.
Hanover,
Accept.
Hanson,
Accept.
Pembroke,
Accept.
Whitman,
Except,
and at large.
Accept.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we have a report from the Bylaws Committee, although who's going to give that with Lee not able to make it tonight?
I can read, it's just gonna be a matter of reading, so I can read that for you if that would be acceptable.
Yes, please.
Thanks, Megan. So it was submitted by Lee Hartman, who's the chair. The Bylaws Committee met on Wednesday, January 15th. Attending committee chair Lee Hartman and members Stephen Santusonio, Frank Staffier, and Becky Coletta. Staff in attendance were Mary Waldron, Charlie Kilmer, and Megan Fournier. The committee took the opportunity to actively review the bylaws and unanimously approved bringing these amendments to the council. Both changes were minor amendments made to better clarify the purpose of the organization and refine the responsibility of the council. The bylaws committee moves favorably out of committee to the full council with a request to approve the following amendments. Include the addition of the diversity, equity, inclusion in our purpose section, as well as in our subcommittee section. The code of conduct section for council members amended to reference the need to take the conflict of interest training. It's supposed to be the link in here. We'll send the link for all council members to take. That is required by all government employees and boards. And then basic parliamentary procedures were updated to remove Robert Rules procedure and replace with basic principles of parliamentary procedures. Lee, just as an aside, Lee was very instrumental. We had worked offline with him and then brought those changes to the bylaw committee.
Are there any questions?
I have a question if I may. The conflict of interest where I take that, do I have to take it again for you people?
My understanding is that you don't, just if we could have it on record, if you have a copy of it, if you can, let me find out for you, because I know Jean Marie had also had asked the question because she had taken it because she works with the town of East Bridgewater. I remember asking,
I'll get a,
Go ahead.
yeah, I'll get a copy to you anyways.
Thank
I
you.
just didn't know if I had to take it twice.
the answer that I received from the state was that you do not need to take it twice.
Thank you.
Mary, I have the email saved, so I can just send that language out and
Great,
put it
thank
into the share drive.
Okay, if there's no other questions, does anyone want to make a motion to accept the bylaw committee report, including approval of the amendments to the bylaws?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I second that motion.
thanks, Yolanda.
Abington, Avon,
Abstain.
Bridgewater,
Accept,
Brockton,
Accept.
East Bridgewater,
Accept.
Hanover,
Accept.
Hanson,
Accept.
Pembroke,
Accept.
Whitman,
except,
and at large.
Accept.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the DEI committee report.
Yolanda?
Yeah, yeah, we had the DEI committee meeting on Thursday, January 16th. In attendance was myself, Yolanda Spinola, Steven Santisano. We also had members of the OCPC staff in attendance, and they were in the office, and they also joined myself and Steve virtually. The committee took the opportunity to discuss the the purpose of the committee, current potential initiatives of the organization, and review verbiage to be adopted into the bylaws regarding diversity, equity, inclusion, which all were provided to the council ahead of time in the meeting. It's in the meeting material packet. Committee members and staff were unanimous in agreement to bring these items to the council for discussion and approval. Highlights of the meeting included initiatives currently being taken by staff, such as updating the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy Committee, and members, as well as other OCPC committees, committee research, taking more concerted efforts in finding members of representing people of color and underrepresented groups. The bylaw and mission of these committees will be amended to reflect these efforts in all staff meetings as held to provide an opportunity for staff to discuss the mission statements and goals and how these can be used to better align the values of DEI in the governance and operations of OCPC.
Thank you, Yolanda. Do we have any questions? Or a motion to accept?
Motion to accept?
I second that motion.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Yes, Abington. Avon,
Abstain.
Bridgewater,
Accept.
Brockton,
Accept.
East Bridgewater,
Accept?
Hanover,
Accept.
Hanson,
Accept.
Pembroke,
Accept.
Whitman,
Accept.
and at large.
Accept.
Thank you, Yolanda and Stephen. And now, update on state and federal actions. We've already done that, right, Mary?
We have, my apologies for,
That's
Um,
okay.
jumping.
It made sense. It was on everyone's mind. OPEB trust update. Does someone have something there?
Sean Noel.
You want me to take it? Okay.
Mhm.
So we completed this month the movement of the OPEB trust fund from Rockland Trust Management over to the PCOT management. The transfer of funds was completed on January 6th. And just today we have completed, Christine Joy was nice enough as treasurer to allow Brenda and I permission to be able to make contributions, as well as begin to permission to monitor the fund through the portal that PARS offers. So we have not made a contribution since November because we weren't sure on the timing of the transfer of the funds. But I will work with Brenda tomorrow to get caught up on those contributions. We normally contribute $60,000 a year, $5,000 a month each fiscal, for the entire year. And that has kept us well in line to be able to meet our obligation. So at this point, like I said, everything is moving smoothly. The folks at PARS have been extremely helpful throughout the entire process. They've kept us well informed. They've answered all of our questions. So like I said, we should be back to pretty much business as usual starting next month. Like I said, we'll be able to review statements on a regular basis, make our normal contributions, and then just proceed as we have always done through Rockland, but hopefully see some slightly better return on the investment.
All right, thank you, Sean.
Mhm.
Any questions about the OPEB transfers? Okay, I don't think we need a motion on that.
Nope.
Unless you tell me otherwise, Mary. So I
No,
would
no
move on
need.
to the
Mhm.
council retreat date. Last year, it was the first year we had the retreat. We did it 2 separate dates. That took a lot of staff time. So we're really gonna offer that once and hope that most people can attend. So Mary, were you gonna talk about the date?
Yeah, and I think what I was gonna ask Megan, just maybe even just general, since we have such a great turnout tonight, just for council members. You know, we did it at different times, after work, we can do it on a weekend. Is there a one time better if we send out a poll to you, would that be the easiest way for you to respond? I'd like to make sure that we can solidify this date. So perhaps even if for those who are on, I know, just even knowing your schedules to schedule, whether it's the legislative or others, we could potentially take one of our regular scheduled council meetings and use that as a retreat, but that would mean an in-house retreat, trying to eliminate the, not to say it couldn't be remote, but the idea is for the interaction, for you to get to know some of your other delegates and alternates as well as the staff. So, Megan, what day did we hold it last year? Do you remember?
March. We had the 2 different dates. And I think one was the beginning of March and one was either the end or the beginning of April. I'm also creating a quick poll if people want to just say their preference on timing.
If you could do that right now, that would be great, Megan. And we'll take those and then for those that are not on, we'll reach out. All the delegates are again invited to the legislative breakfast. That's an opportunity again to hear what we do. If you noted today, we just didn't have any presentations by staff this time around, and part of that was because of the priority of our budget and the potential of us not really kind of knowing where we were. So, Megan, you're going to just release that in the Zoom, correct? There we go. So on your screen, staff, OCPC staff, that's not for you to take. If it's, can we only have the delegates? You can just do it right either from your phone or on your computer.
So Mary, this is Rhonda. I can't select. It won't let me do that.
Yeah, I think if we're panelists, we're not able to vote.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Do you
Yeah,
want me to just say in person? Would that be helpful?
yeah, let's go, if we could, let's start with you, Rhonda.
I kind of like the council meeting in person,
Okay,
but I'm flexible.
Christine,
Same, I would say council meeting in person.
Preston,
Yeah, council meeting in person would work the best.
okay, John, Costa?
After hours works for me.
Okay, Noreen,
Same thing, council meeting in person.
okay, Sandra,
yeah, council meeting in person.
Bob Ruley,
Council meeting in person.
okay. Now the pressure's on for the rest of you, Yolanda,
I'm flexible, but I'll go with council meeting in person.
Alex, if you're able to, Peter Spagone,
Yeah, I'm flexible as well, but council meeting sounds like a good idea.
okay, Tony,
Yeah, council meeting works for me.
okay. So, thank you for the attempt to do the poll, Megan, that was nice and we tried. So we will work with council meeting in person, and there will always be that opportunity again for whatever reason, illness or what have you, that one can't. So we'll work on getting that date. And that actually might work out pretty well in the sense that it's right around the time when we talk about our budget heading into the next couple months as we prepare. So we'll get back to everyone about that. And
Thank
Alex,
you.
go ahead, Alex. Sorry, Alex, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything. Madam Chair, I think we'll just go on for the open discussion at this point.
Okay, open discussion. So at our next meeting, I think you said that we're gonna have a presentation from, was it Paul Amano?
It is, yes.
And then next week, the SEDS meeting, the Economic Development meeting, is at the OCPC office during the week,
It is,
Wednesday at noon, I think.
it is.
And, you know, that's one of those ways that you can think about how we intersect with economic development in the region. Are there any other discussion items that we haven't covered?
Well, but I know that there have been an open to all the delegates and alternates if they have topics of discussion that are within the regional planning realm that one would like us to either take up as a conversation. All have indicated, at least from the last time we had a retreat, all members really like to stay within that hour's time for the sake of all your busy lives and timing, but that will be the goal, always to stay at least within that hour, so we don't try to go too over, but to be informative. So I know John Costa, particularly last year, had provided a number of topics of interest. Some again are within our realm, and one of them was housing, and I think we will try to identify. Housing is a big issue, right? ADUs are coming up. The MBTA community is coming up in many of your communities. It may not have passed. So if you have topics, what I'd like you to do is if you have a topic, certainly send it to me, but include Becky Coletta as the president of the council. And we will either find information and we will find the time to incorporate into our reporting out to you for the next meeting.
Okay,
So
thank you, Mary. I think with that, unless someone wants to raise their hand or speak up, we will adjourn for the night. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make
So
that
moved.
motion to adjourn.
All in favor? We don't need to do roll call on this by
Aye.
consent.
Aye.
All
Aye.
right,
Aye.
have a good
Aye.
night, everybody.
Get better, Becky.
Night.
This is
Get
Rhonda.
better.
Take it
you.
easy, Becky.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Have a good
You
night.
too, Rhonda.
All right,
night,
you're
all.
welcome.
Just feel better, Becky.
And
Yeah.
Megan, thank you for that beautiful Eldon presentation. That was wonderful.
Oh,
Really
That
was.
was
Oh,
really
That was really nice. Well done.
It was an honor.
Good night, everybody.
night.
Good night.
Okay.